Adventures in stand-up. I'm Lawrence and I'm gonna talk about my adventures in stand-up. Knock, knock, who's there? Me, Lawrence.
Hello. So, I have been doing stand-up comedy for 5 gigs. Started August. It is currently November, and I thought I would tell you a little bit of how it's been going and what I've found about it. So the first thing is I really like it. I'm really enjoying it. Now, when I say I've done 5 gigs, I don't even know if you can call them gigs. 3 of them were new material nights in a room in a pub, about 20 people in, and I was just doing material, try and get the material good. And then 2 of them were gong shows for a company called Funhouse Comedy. Now, the reason I've done that, because a lot of acts I've come across have been kind of just doing every single gig they can find, and I've been a lot more deliberate with the gigs I want to do. Is I don't really want to get stuck in this routine of playing an open mic night to the other acts, because at the end of the day you're not going to learn anything from that. So I really want to do new material nights to hone my material, get new material ready. I want to try and build 15 minutes, and then I'm doing gigs like these gong shows where if you win or do well, you are given progression onto like a pro bill where you get a 10-minute slot. So I did this gig in Leicester. It was a gong show in Leicester for Funhouse Comedy. I came 3rd, and then the promoter said to me, he has another gong show in Derby end of the month. Come and do that. Do a different 5, and if you do well there, then I'll progress you. So I went up, did the different 5. I came runner-up, which I was very happy with. I lost to a pro act. He's like a magician, really funny as well. But it was a very narrow, decision. But in the interval, the promoter came up to me and he said, "Yeah, we don't do gongs anymore. I'll put you on my pro nights. You can do open 10, it's called, an open 10 spot, which is unpaid, but it's a 10 spot on a pro bill. I can learn from the other comedians. It's a proper night." Great. So I've been booked in for February for that one in Nottingham, which I'm really looking forward to. And and then the new material nights have been fun, all at the same place in St Albans called Jest for Laughs. Been really supportive of me there, really supportive. I'd say of the 3 5s I did there, 2 bombed, 1 was excellent. But I actually learnt more from the ones that bombed, weirdly enough, because I went and rewrote them and I've used them with the gongs and they stormed it. So it really shows the importance of testing new material and kind of writing on stage, where I'm not literally improvising. I'm not that way. I'm very methodical, but listening when you do it for the first time, I've noticed like you can hear it's too wordy, or you can hear that there's too many gags, or the gags are not really strong. You can hear the audience reaction to what works and what doesn't work, and that really helps when you go home and rewrite it. Something I have learnt is it's never the room's fault if you do badly. Like I was on one of these new material things and a guy didn't do very well and he said it was the compare's fault, or the room is too big, the ceilings were too high or something like that. It's nonsense. To me, it's only ever your own fault if you don't do well, because you need to look at what happened. Did you not play to the audience? Was it really a night to banter with them rather than do material? All these kind of things are all very important. And that's something that I learned actually, because the first one I did, I thought, oh, I didn't do very well, but I felt like the audience weren't really there to, enjoy. They just came to observe. But at the end of the day, that's my fault. I should have made them come and enjoy it. So some interesting things there. Something I've also kind of learned is like, you can't be. Oh, I'm getting a phone call. There's a little cut there because I got a phone call from the wife as I'm on the way to pick up my little boy, 2-year-old from nursery, which actually brings up an interesting point that I could talk about. Like gigging, I was saying about how I'm trying to do gigs that have progression and then new material nights and build my setup. What's interesting is, because I was talking to some acts and they're gigging everywhere. And I don't think that's always a good idea. To me, I don't live in London. I'm in kind of Bedfordshire area, so I'm always going to be like a bit of a drive, maybe an hour and a half to Leicester and back. It's 3 hours. Then you've got the gig itself, 2 hours. You're talking about 4 to 5 hours. Is it worth going into London for, 4 or 5 hours to do an open mic night when you could do an hour's writing at home and then spend some time with your family or whatever it is? To me, I get more out of doing the writing and improving the writing. I think writing is just as important as actually doing stand-up. Yes, you need to hone your performance, you need to hone how you're doing it, but I think some gigs, like, it's not worth doing a 5-hour journey for 5 or 10 minutes on stage when there's no progression out of it and you're playing to just other comics. So that's something I've kind of decided for myself, and so far it's going well. In terms of my performance on stage, my first time going up at the New Material Night, I wanted to be a ranty comedian. That's kind of how I wrote, but I realised I'm not a ranty person. And what I learned really, really quickly from that one night is you need to figure out who you are and really look at who you are and dial it up a little bit, because I am a methodical, process-driven guy. And I've dialed it up so I'm a bit more cerebral on stage, and that works for me really, really well. I'm not manic. I wish I could be manic, but I'm not. But I've just dialed myself up a little bit on stage. This methodical, cerebral, process-driven guy, and that works really well for me. But yeah, look, so far it's going well. I have a competition this Sunday, which I'm looking forward to, in London. It's 4 heats across the month of November. I'm in the first heat, and I think the top 2 go through. So I doubt I'll get through. I don't really know how it all works. It's the British Comedy Guide open mic competition, which, from what I read, was you have to have been, like, you've done barely any gigs, open mic level, which I think means there'll be people who've been going for 10 years on this who aren't open mic level. But it's going to be a bit of fun, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to seeing the acts. I don't know if it's whoever brings the most acts will win, because that's the voting. But I'm looking forward to it. I think it's a 5-minute set. I will let you know how it goes. But listen, so far so good. I'm 5 gigs in. I've progressed from a gong show for Funhouse Comedy into the Open Tens. So that's a really good start for me. I've got a place I can do some new material every now and then, and I'm just looking around for some others. But yeah, I will come back to you with any thoughts I have. I do have some thoughts about things like what to wear, etiquette at a gig, writing process, structuring my sets. But also, do remember, I'm a nobody. I'm 5 gigs in. But I'd rather do this than a podcast. So, I find the behind the scenes fascinating. So yeah, listen, if you are also a new act, give me a comment, let me know how you're finding things, and if you're thinking of getting into stand-up, let me know what's holding you back, because if you've got any questions, I'm happy to answer them from an experience, that I'm having. So yeah, catch you later, guys, and I hope this is interesting, and maybe I'll start putting clips up when I'm comfortable with it. Adios.
Adventures in stand-up.